Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another online business briefing brought to you by SmallCapVoice.com. I'm joined once again by the super group of JRab and Kevin Gray. You've seen them all over our social media here at SmallCapVoice.com and on our YouTube channel. And we've got big news to talk about today, but even more than that, we've got a big run in one of our longtime clients. We've been lead IR for KULR Technology Group for almost 4 years now. Their ticker symbol on the NYSE is KULR. They are a media darling. They are a darling on social media over the past few weeks with some blockbuster press releases and explosive growth in the company's stock price. With that being said, a press release that has gotten mixed reviews just hit the press wire today, December 4th. The headline being KULR announces Bitcoin Treasury strategy. So we thought here at Small Cap Voice, we would spotlight and highlight the yin and yang of it, the good and the bad, the positive responses and the negative responses as well, because we want to hear from you. Most importantly, we want to engage with you as the shareholders, as the interested parties in KULR Technology Group. So first, let's start off with you, Kevin. What have you seen? I know you monitor places like Reddit, StockTwits, and of course, we'll get to Jay, who's been all over X, aka Twitter, and some of the other sites. But really, what has I've seen it as well. I know there's a mixed bag out there, but let's hear what you've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody knows me to be optimistic to a fault sometimes, at least everybody who knows me in my personal life. And I'm kind of the same way. It makes sense. KULR is positioning themselves based on geopolitical trends. And they even mentioned that the Trump administration is going to be adopting or is saying that they're going to be adopting Bitcoin and cryptocurrency at large right there in the press release. It's that last paragraph in there that they bring this up. There was an article that came out on the street yesterday here that says U.S. government's potential Bitcoin acquisition could ignite global crypto adoption. Byline here: massive Bitcoin purchases by the U.S. government could drive adoption and unprecedented market growth. Now, that's kind of where my head's at. Bitcoin isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, I remember back when Bitcoin was in the thousands and everybody was saying that it was about ready to tank. And now here we are just hovering right underneath 100,000 a coin. There's a lot going on, and it's not just KULR who's doing this strategy. Just within the past 7 days here, just 7 days, we've seen Rumble, KULR, Bitcoin Well, and MicroStrategy all either buying more Bitcoin or talking about having a Bitcoin Treasury strategy brought to the company. And so KULR saw this massive rise. We knew that this was going to hit kind of with mixed responses just based on Michael Moe's X poll that he did. I mean, that was a 2/3 for and then 1/3 against just from that poll. We're looking at some of the feedback right now and some of the tweets that are coming in here. It is very, very mixed. JD Finance here says over 12 million in cash is good to hear, but as BTC rips higher, their balance sheet will be getting mighty strong. So bullish on that. Let's see. Burbs Buck, JE, as the handle there. I still have a long position in KULR. I'm a little skeptical, though. I wouldn't say I'm a complete bear. If everything they're working towards goes as planned, I think it will be a very great company and profitable for shareholders. Then here we got another handle here. Tip says, I believe there will be something more to KULR strategy than just investing in Bitcoin. Perhaps the CEO will clarify in the company intro. I assume that means intro, the company's intro into the Bitcoin strategy in future plans. There's a lot of different mixed responses here. I could keep going, but we got bulls, we got bears, we got people just kind of on the fence here. It's very unique. And one thing to kind of remind everybody of here, KULR is a battery company. They are a technology company. They have DoD contracts. They work with NASA. They work with some of the larger players. I'll go ahead and right now put up the slide of all their partners here, where you can see some big names like Meta and Tesla and some other players like DeWalt and just consumer goods and things that you're not really expecting. And so I wouldn't really look at this as a Bitcoin play as much as KULR is seeing what's on the horizon over the next 4 years with the Trump administration and just positioning themselves to really corner that in the best way they can.
All right, well, Jay, let's hear from you then. I mean, your own personal take as well, if you want to provide it, like Kevin did, or just let us know the feedback and the temperature that you've taken so far today, a few hours in the market.
Well, just focusing on what Kevin said in response to KULR being a battery company, that was one of the sentiments that was expressed with one of the people that was said, just focus on your core business. A lot of people were saying that people can buy Bitcoins themselves, don't need another proxy company coming in and doing that. There was another person that said that they hope that they reconsider this move, focusing on how short-term cash would be treated, how you're working hard on what appears to be a great application for products, but that they should focus on that instead of dropping into Bitcoin. Another one was like they said that you shouldn't run a company based on X surveys. So
Yeah, we did see that X survey. I think we may have
Yep.
had a little hand in that as well, as we have a new guest joining us here on the video today.
Hey, doggy.
Yeah. So listen, Kevin, I'm not throwing shade on what you said earlier, but you used the word unique. And I wonder if this is unique. I mean, you mentioned that those smaller companies, KULR, Rumble, Bitcoin Well, but there's also other ones, Hut 8, Mara, CleanSpark. They may not have been press releasing this, but we have a client. We're lucky enough to have a client, Jonathan Bates, CEO of Bitmine Immersion, ticker symbol BMNR. And I bring him up not because he's the CEO of that company, because he's a 25-year veteran hedge fund manager. And over 6 weeks ago, he said to me, Stuart, you are going to see more and more companies start to book Bitcoin on their balance sheet as a tactical move to increase excitement around the company. But he also said it's a fundamental move, because think about what your cash on hand does for you otherwise. It does absolutely nothing other than being cash on hand. It doesn't earn interest. You can't put it in a money market. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, this is just my 2 cents. Obviously, it's going to appreciate and depreciate based on the flow of Bitcoin. So that's one strategic move that has become available to companies. And like you said, when you see the geopolitical and the new president and regime that's coming into power in Washington being so bullish on Bitcoin, and allies of the company like Elon Musk, to me, this move seems less controversial than people are making it out to be. That's just my take.
And I think I'm going to echo that too, because I mean, we see MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy at this point, they're just stacking Bitcoin like it's gold at Fort Knox, if you will. And Michael Saylor over at Bitcoin has recently said, I've said it in a recent video too, that Bitcoin is digital energy. KULR protects energy. That's what they do. And so it's a logical transition into this space. You know, unique is probably not the right word. Strategic is probably a better way to phrase it. And so I'm going to kind of just echo what you're saying there. Ultimately, I'm still going to be just optimistic to a fault.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in, but we'd love it more if you left us some comments, and be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, or hit the thumbs down if you hate what we're saying. We're okay. We're big boys. We've got thick skin. For Kevin Gray and J Rab, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in.